We're in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates at the Custom Show Emirates. We're here on a one-on-one engine building competition to see who can make the most horsepower over 10 chassis dyno pulls. We're bringing our best from America against a team from the UAE. Okay, so we've got two identical 2018 Silverados. We're going to be pulling the engines out. We're building a 416 LT with a Magnacharger supercharger, putting them back in the car and doing 10 chassis dyno pulls and average the peak numbers from all 10.
Well, first off, we made it. First flight was canceled, didn't make it to our trip to go to Germany, so we got pushed back a day. Had a 9-hour layover in Germany, made it here, made it into bed by about 3 o'clock this morning.
So we're running on about 2 hours of sleep, me and Nate, so it'll be interesting.
We're getting started today. We just got in. We're unpacking all of our stuff and cataloging all of it, making sure everything is here. We shipped an enormous crate from the United States with the engine in it, and we're just making sure we've got everything. We're about to start building the LT416.
I think we're going to be thrashing pretty hard on it to get it done. Engine out, engine built, and engine back in the truck. Basically, we're just getting everything set out, laid out. We got most of the parts already out and on the table. Looks like we're pretty organized. We're ready to roll.
So first we'll start, we'll build the short block, get the heads on, and then they want an engine in the truck yet today. And then tomorrow we'll put the supercharger on and should be able to start running it tomorrow night. There's one more cam than we thought there was going to be. Really, from everything we've found before, it's going to be biggest cam usually wins. So we can't poke back at our sources at home, so I think that's probably what we'll go for, and just put the biggest cam in and see what happens.
I think by the end of the day, if we have the engine back in the truck and pretty well connected, we're in good shape. I think we're going to be further than that. I guess we'll see how the show goes along. Hopefully we shouldn't run into any issues, so it should be good to roll. Our approach is just going to be do what we do every day. We'll be fine.
I feel very confident in what I have to do. I think the big one in the end is going to come down to tuning. And I'm just as confident in that.
So the preparation is key. We blueprinted the engine back home. All the measurements have been done. So all the extremely time-consuming pre-preparation things for the engine have been done. Now it's final assembly. I think we'll do well.
Yeah, when I got stopped in the U.S., this girl's working the counter. I laughed when she grabbed my bag and I said, "Well, where would you like me to begin?" And she kind of looks at me and said, "There's going to be a lot of stuff you have questions about."
We're just going to assemble all the sub-assemblies, front cover, get like the oil pan prepped so that everything just kind of goes on smooth.
Yep, starting already. All I can hear is that whatever keeps us going through the speakers is just constantly running through my mind.
That same ungodly loop.
I'm waking up in the middle of the night screaming. Perfect, still fits. The 38%.
How long have you been doing it now?
That'd be it, boss.
Which one do you choose?
That one.
I think we are going to choose the same one.
Yeah,
I think.
probably.
All right.
Hey, if he didn't make his flight, he'd be doing that.
I feel like we're under this time crunch every time that song starts over.
The last 30 seconds of the game.
Waiting for Big Swag to say 10 minutes remaining. Right as rain. Yep. Give them a little bath of oil and
That's a good trick.
well, when I can't reach my fat little fingers down in that far.
What that is?
Yeah, I can smell it.
Or was that all? Oh, because you're pumping the engine.
Yeah,
It was
but
pushing
oh, it's pushing it out of here.
it out of the pump.
Yeah, but oh yeah, it's
Here.
pushing it out of this. That thing when you flip it over. Those are all the washers on the bolts. Clean out the bottom.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that like you used to have to. You should see some of these oil pans on the tractors that I take off. There's 3/4 of an inch of just tar on the bottom. I mean, that's the best way to explain it. It's just nasty sand and oh yeah, you should see them when they. Germany was really questionable about the feeler gauges.
Really?
Feeler
Feeler
gauges.
Does it look like razor blades?
They didn't look like a bunch of knives folding out of that thing.
Yeah.
You know, they got no idea. And then the wire lock setting tool in Detroit. Well, it's over the length of what you can have for a sharp object. It's like, well, it's not sharp. The guy looks at it and he goes, yeah, it looks like you've been bashing on this thing with a hammer for 20 years. Because we have. All I can think about is Dave talking about when he had the screws taken out of his shoulder. He said the doctor was using one of these. But he was spinning it with the top one and like stretching the screw in either direction while he's doing it. And you can imagine how Dave took that. It's like either use it right or let me do it.
¿Cuándo vos ir?
Here and yes, I will remove the.
Oo, susikwatin na lang ulit.
Hindi, mamaya na lang.
Mamaya na lang.
I need to some
Ikot ko lang. Sige, baba pa. Baba pa.
wire.
Sige lang.
Take the wire. Take the wire. Okay. Now.
So it's end of day one of the engine battle. We've got the engine together and it's already in the truck. We've stopped for the day. They told us we've gone too far. We need to save something for tomorrow. So we're installing the supercharger tomorrow.
First day went as smooth as I could have hoped for. I mean, there was, it was just putting the engine together. There was no real hiccups. You know, some tool shortages, but that was to be expected without really knowing what they were going to give us. But, you know, we suffered through it. Two of us building the engine, and we were together, first one together, and went really well. The guys from the shop here that pulled the engine, they were quick and everything went smooth.
Nick and Nate had this engine done very quickly. I attribute that to our experience building LT engines. The engine was blueprinted and everything was measured, machined and prepared, pre-assembled and checked, and then disassembled back home in Detroit before it was shipped over here.
Back at Katech was all our typical main bearing sizes, rod bearing sizes. We re-honed the engine for piston clearance and hone finish, what was recommended with the rings. You know, putting the heads together, just making sure everything was right so there were no questions, you know.
The engine build went very smoothly. We did run into some computer issues though. We were told that we were getting two 2014 trucks for the competition. We got a 2018 truck. Our competition got a 2017 truck. Theirs has some miles on it, ours is brand new. So this caused some issues with HP tuners because it's a 2018 Silverado export truck. So even though we updated our HP tuners version a week ago, it still didn't have the definitions file correct for a UAE export vehicle in a 2018. Luckily, HP Tuners is on site here. We went right to them and they made a call back home, made some changes, gave us a link to download some new software. We've downloaded the new software and now we can read and edit our tune file, and we can also data log, because without that, we did not have most of the data logging channels to look at.
Yeah, end of day one, it was together, it was in the truck, you know, typical build a fresh engine jitters, but that's just normal for me.
We're fully in the car, or in the truck, and we're gonna work on getting the blower on tomorrow and get it up and running and start to do some pulls on it.
So here I am putting an engine together, and all of a sudden 30 people just blow through the barrier and surround me with cameras and security, and this guy starts talking to me and just wasn't ready for it. Wrong person to be there to be talking to, but it was definitely interesting, not expected. Nope, they specified the engine for us. This is a LT1 stroke 6.2 liters, so it's about 416 cubic feet. Mm-hmm.